What's up and welcome back to Rumor Has It Official. Let's get straight into talking about 90 Day Fiancé Happily Ever After. This is Season 5, Episode 7, and the title of this episode is The Best Mistake of My Life. Let's start off with Andrei and Elizabeth. So Elizabeth and Andrei are at the airport in Moldova waiting for her father and brother to arrive. It's clear that Elizabeth is excited, but Andrei, on the other hand, he's not. Once they arrive, Andrei gives them this weak greeting and hug, and you can tell that it's very forced and he just doesn't want to, but he doesn't have a problem using Chuck's money to pay for this wedding, but he can't even be grateful or be respectful or cordial with his father-in-law. That's just terrible. Elizabeth's father and brother haven't received their luggage. Something happened with their luggage, and I think there was some type of delay. But they're interested to see how Andrei acts in his own country and environment. Andrei, during this car ride, talks about how he was a detective in Moldova, but the cops who did parole, if you ever get pulled over, you can easily bribe them with money in order to get out of having to get a ticket. He says that, he was treated poorly when he was working as a detective. And so he left and started working as a bouncer at a club in Ireland. Elizabeth's brother starts to inquire on why he left and moved from his family. He says that he got into some trouble and that they don't need to know anything else. Comment down below your thoughts. Let's move on to Colt and Jess. So Colt and his mother are going with Jess to meet her family. And Jess says that her family is very important to her and she's hoping that they will approve of Colt. She adds that she's really nervous because she thinks Debbie likes to fight. Before they approach her family, Jess warns them that they are crazy. Jess starts dancing and throwing up her hands, and Debbie's tail is following suit by clapping her hands. So I'm like, yeah. You could tell that Debbie was just being phony. Phony as I don't know what, instead of just being herself. Now, Colt first greets Jess's uncle like he's at a job interview. And you can tell before they got there that he probably rehearsed what he was going to say in the hotel mirror. Really. He makes his rounds and finally greets Jess's father. And her father tells the camera crew that Colt's intentions have to be taking responsibility for his daughter, to man up and marry her, not just to fool around. Debbie says that she's excited to meet Jess's family so she can find out about her past and what her goals are. She adds that she's not too fond of her father and she felt like he was very weird. So when Debbie met Jess's father, he greets her and hugs her, and they do this thing where they kind of kiss each other on the cheek, and that really threw Debbie for a loop. She, I guess, maybe is not used to that. I don't think he was weird. I think he was just being very welcoming and kind to her. But anyway, so Jess's father wastes no time getting answers from Colt once they sit at the dinner table on Colt's divorce and why they were divorced, even the timeline in which he got divorced to which he started to date his daughter. So Debbie is itching to chime in, you can tell, during this time. And Jess says to him, "What are you looking for with me? Because this is something the father wants to know." And she says, "Do you want to be with me or just looking to pass time?" And again, during this time, Debbie is itching just to chime in and say something. Comment down below your thoughts and let me know what you thought about that scene. Let's move on to Angela and Michael. It's the next day and Angela is still upset about Michael ambushing her with the lady expats. And in this scene, Angela is telling Michael that she's not a Nigerian woman and she's not cooking for his mother and aunt who are coming over to visit them at their apartment. So they get into it back and forth about the apartment and whom it belongs to. And Angela says that it's hers and Michael says that it's ours. He says, "Your money is my money." And I mean, he ain't lying though, because she won't even let him work. He solely depends on Angela. So yeah, he's right. Her money is his money. They go to the market in this scene and Angela keeps telling him that she's not cooking and that they're ordering pizza. Michael wants to order goat's meat and Angela's freaking out when she sees that they got the poor goat's head just right there on the table. His eyes are open. This really messes her up. She leaves and gets into the car saying that it's just too much. And, she's just so thankful for America. And then she starts spitting up the soda that she just downed. I think she was being extra a little bit. Maybe it did maybe freak her out a little bit, but she literally drunk the soda and then started spitting the soda up. Like, she is just a hot mess. Comment down below your thoughts. Let's move on to Larissa. So Larissa done got herself kicked out, and now she has no choice but to go stay with Eric. She calls Eric, and to me, he gave that ultimatum to her to tell Carmen, but didn't seem too enthused on inviting her to stay with him. He comes to pick Larissa up, and they make this agreement to sleep in separate rooms so that they can take their relationship slow still, since, they just got back together. Comment down below your thoughts, and let's move on to Kalani and Asuelu. So it's been a week or so since they got back from their Cali trip, and Kalani says that they still haven't talked much. Kalani says there hasn't been any resolution, and she feels as though she's battling a teenager, and that's because she is. Now, in this scene, Kalani and Asuelu talk about Asuelu's actions, and he apologizes. To me, this apology was a setup so that he could then bring up the fact that he's missing his family still. And now he says that he has family in Washington and would like to go see them. Again, like I said, I feel like this apology was definitely a setup. And he expresses that they, again, are his half siblings, so they share the same mom but different dads. Kalani agrees to go with him to Washington, but makes him promise not to throw her under the bus if things happen, or to not take off and leave her. Asuelu agrees, but I have a strong feeling something is about to pop off during this trip. And Asuelu will be breaking a lot of promises that he made to Kalani. These promises were only made so that she would say yes. But I have a strong feeling that he is not going to hold fast to any of the promises that he made. Comment down below your thoughts, and let's move on to Colt, Debbie, and Jess. So Colt tells the family that he wants a family with Jess, adding that he didn't plan on meeting her, nor was he looking for a relationship, but he fell for her instantly. Jess's father gives Colt the eye squint, and he says that he hopes Colt is being sincere. So once Colt gets approval from Jess's father, Jess's aunt tells them that she would like them to get married in Brazil at her house. And Debbie then jumps in saying, so does anyone besides me think that they're moving too fast? So that was the last straw for her. All this talk about marriage and family, that was the last straw. She's like, I'm chiming in right now because this is not going down. So Jess says that she doesn't care. I think that Jess had enough beer at this point, and I was cool with her standing up to Debbie, but just not cursing her out, just not cursing at her. I just think you still should, just out of respect, I wouldn't even let Debbie get me riled up. I would have dismissed Debbie and ignored her questions, or let Colt address his own mother. Now, the crazy thing is her parents have never met Debbie and already pegged her being bossy. And they said that she is too bossy over her son and wants him all to herself. So Debbie is surprised when Colt tells her that he's going to get her a cab to take her back to her hotel. And Colt says that he's worried because of how things are between his mother and Jess, but he decided to stay because the night isn't about his mom, but about him and Jess. He wants to stay to get to know her family more because he says that he can see a future. That was probably the most grown-up thing Colt has done, really. I mean, I'm so surprised that he finally chose between his mother and the woman he's with, at least for that night. Comment down below your thoughts. Let's move on to Karine and Paul. So Paul and Karine move into their new home, and Paul heads over to the place first to prepare it as much as possible so that Karine will be happy with staying there. Once Karine arrives, she looks around and says that She just wants a place to call home with walls and a bathroom and enough space. Karine says that it's good and that she likes it there, but where are the curtains? So Paul starts putting sheets up and pillows to block the sun or from anyone being able to look inside. I think the place that they are in is definitely an upgrade from places that they've stayed at in Brazil. Karine seemed to be happy. But let's hope that Paul can keep a job and actually keep that smile on her face. If not, he's going to lose his family. Comment down below your thoughts and let's move on to Kalani and Asuelu. So in this scene, Kalani and Asuelu video chat with Asuelu's mom and sister. And Asuelu tells them that they had to cancel the trip because of the measles outbreak. And his mom tells him, yes, he must stay and take care of his family. She even agreed that it wouldn't be safe to take a trip like that right now. Asuelu then informs them that they will be coming to Washington to visit. His mom says, yes, any hour, any second, any minute, any year. She had me rolling. Kalani says that she believes that his mother is a bit kooky. She then throws in that she needs money. This is Asuelu's mother throwing in that she needs money, right? And Kalani says she never allows Asuelu to send back the amount that she requests. And she believes that that's what has made everything tense between them because they don't get the money, the amount of money that they want from them. Asuelu starts stuttering and making up lies saying that he spent the money to buy diapers, to pay the bills and fix his car. Doesn't he mean Kalani pays bills and buys Pampers? I know his part-time frozen yogurt job isn't paying for much. If I'm wrong, then maybe I'm in the wrong profession, okay? They tell him to take his car back to the car dealer and that she wants $1,000 from him. Asuelu tells her that he only has $500. His sister chimes in saying that their mother wants $1,000, and does he remember what she told him? The sister is like, you care about your family before you care about anyone else, and that's what he's supposed to do. Asuelu does exactly what he promised that he wouldn't do, and that is throw Kalani under the bus when he says, I will try to give the money, but I don't know if Kalani wants to. To me right there, that was the first sign of him breaking his promise to not throw her under the bus. So since he did that, I would have told him, because really Kalani holds all the cards. I would have told him, we're not going to Washington, or you can go by yourself, but you have to find a way to fund your trip. And plus bring that $1,000 to your mom. That has to come out of your pocket because it ain't coming out of my pocket. You couldn't hold fast to a promise. So when we get down there, you definitely ain't going to do it because you couldn't do it right now. And I'm sitting right here in your presence and you couldn't even do it. Asuelu had the audacity to say if Kalani doesn't have respect for his mom on this trip, it's going to make him upset. Comment down below your thoughts. Let's move on to Colt and Debbie. So Colt feels that he's in a good space with Jess's family. And in this scene, he shows up looking like a bird at the head the next morning. Colt had to been still hung over from the night before because I've never seen that man's hair looking like that. It's never. Debbie is telling Colt that Jess was disrespectful to her and is definitely trying to plant bad seeds. Saying things like, he should have defended her. And has he ever noticed that side of Jess before? And she just needs to back off and let Colt do his own thing. But that won't happen. We all know this. So Debbie has convinced herself that Jess only wants a green card. She says that Colt isn't thinking straight and Colt feels that his mother is overreacting. Comment down below your thoughts. Let's move on to Larissa. So Larissa is going to hang out with Hannah and catches her up on a few things. She lets her know that she's back with Eric, and Hannah also is on the same team as Carmen. She is not in Eric's corner and doesn't think that Larissa should be back with him. Larissa says that she appreciates her friends being worried, but she's a grown woman and can make her own decisions. Comment down below your thoughts. Let's move on to Andrei and Elizabeth. So in this scene, Andrei, Elizabeth, and her family are about to meet most of Andrei's family for the first time. They all sit down to dine together, and I think things are going well. Elizabeth's brother then poses a question to Andrei's family on if Andrei was really a cop. Andrei's brother says yes, Andrei was a cop for 1 year. They then inquire about the salary, and Andrei says that it was 200 euros a year. He either said a month or a year. Don't quote me on that. If you know the real, if it was a month or a year, just comment that down below. But he adds that it was a hard job. Andrei is explaining himself and stuttering, plus getting very defensive. It's obvious that he has a past, but doesn't want anyone to know about it. And I mean, in all fairness, everyone has a past and it is your business. If you don't want to share it, that is your business. Elizabeth has already married this man, and if there were any concerns that she had, she should have been posing those questions herself, because she's a grown-tail woman. So at this point, they're married. They have a child. They're down there in Moldova. They're going to get married again. The girl done converted to and got baptized. So it's just like, it is what it is. But Andrei says that his past is his business, and thinks that Elizabeth's dad and brother should butt out. So Andrei is outed about his role he plays in America, and Andrei starts blaming things on Elizabeth, saying that she wanted him to stay at home and watch their daughter. Elizabeth says, yeah, temporarily, but she still wants him to get a job. She adds that she can change her mind if she wants to. Andrei says then he's talking to her and he's like, if you got such a problem and you want me to work, then why are you getting married to me for the second time and then she cuts him off, and she's saying she's totally fine with not getting married to him again a second time in Moldova. Andrei says that he doesn't know what's going on with Elizabeth, but maybe it's her hormones. I think it's so disrespectful for a man to use that. Just because she is putting him in his place doesn't mean she's hormonal. Just because she's not in agreement and covering for you and your crap does not mean that she's hormonal. So I just think that's disrespectful when some men use that just because a woman is expressing herself and is basically tired of your crap. Comment down below your thoughts. Let's move on to Angela and Michael. So basically, Michael is in the kitchen doing what a Nigerian wife would do. And while Angela sits on her behind and does nothing, okay, she even tells him that this is how things will be when he comes to America. Michael's mom and aunt are coming over for dinner, and Angela says the only contribution that she has to dinner is ordering a pizza, adding he's going to be marrying an American woman, and this is her time to show his mother that he won't be living like a Nigerian man in America. So this is what this is all about, her proving a point and showing them that she's in control. I guess that's what this is all about. Angela is sick for real, and she's just so wrong. But Michael allows her to treat him this way. I don't know what her issue is, but when Michael tries to go and get the door, she tells him, no, come back to the kitchen because I want her to see you cooking, adding that it is her house and she wants to welcome her guest. His mother says that she got to the kitchen. She was surprised to see her son cooking because it is considered abnormal for the husband to do domestic duties. When Michael's aunt wants to know if Angela will learn to cook some of their dishes, Angela says that she doesn't have time to cook and then leaves out of the kitchen. Okay, so his mom and aunt don't like what Michael has prepared. And so Angela takes this opportunity to force her pizza on them, right? And they seemed to like it when they tried it, but I don't know if they were just being nice. When they talk about the wedding plans, Michael's mom then says, God bless your union with children someday. And Angela hasn't even informed him about her possibly having the C word. I never liked really saying it. So, she hasn't even informed him about her health. And Angela and Michael both know kids is a no for their future. I don't even know why they're playing this game. Comment down below your thoughts. Let's move on to Colt and Jess. So Colt and Jess go to the beach, and Colt is one confident man is all I'm going to say. He decides to skip the swimming trunks and wears a Speedo instead. Him in those Speedos is the only thing I wish I could unsee in life. The only thing. Jess seems to like what she sees, though, and I think that it's a great thing when you find someone who can love all of you for you and for who you are. So, I mean, hey, moving on, Colt says to Jess that he thinks sometimes that when she drinks, she gets angry. And Jess calls Colt a baby boy, and Colt says that he's a man. Telling her don't belittle him like that. He does his own thing. He pays his own bills, etc. Jess now, she is tired of being compared to Larissa by Debbie, and Colt just wants Jess to be patient with his mother. Comment down below your thoughts, and let's move on to Larissa. Larissa. Oh my God. A few days after moving in with Eric, she looked through Eric's phone without him knowing and found old texts from a woman that he was talking to after he and Larissa broke up. If this was after they broke up, then it really is none of her concern. What do you all think? Okay. But maybe it changes things when she found what she found and read what she read. Okay. So Larissa decides to call this woman. And Eric was telling the woman that Larissa is a bad mother, doesn't take showers. So now once Larissa calls this woman, the woman reveals that he bashed her in front of his parents and talked about their intimacy together. Now, this is what I'm not understanding. The woman says that Eric is not a good person. He's like she was literally saying he is no good, right? And she says that the fact that he would bash Larissa in front of her, who was a complete stranger at the time. So how did it get to the point, if she was a complete stranger to him at the time when he was bashing Larissa in front of her and the parents, then how did it get to him having her phone number? Why does he have her phone number? And why were they continuing in conversation if he's such a bad person? So I don't know. I have really a hard time believing the woman as well and her being truthful. Unless you're giving me actual facts about me, then you could just be making up some random stuff. It could be totally false. So I don't know if I believe what the woman is saying. And I also feel like I don't really even know if I would be able to trust Eric. And I feel like she really messed up. This is just crazy how she just messed herself up in this way. Larissa should have never jeopardized her place at Carmen's. That's just what I think. Comment down below your thoughts. I really need to hear what you thought of 90 Day Fiancé Happily Ever After. This was season 5, episode 7, and the title of this episode is The Best Mistake of My Life. Comment down below your thoughts. Give this video a big thumbs up. Share with a friend who also loves watching 90 Day Fiancé Happily Ever After. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell so you'll be notified on the next upload. And I will catch you all in the next video. Peace.